All right. And we should be live. Welcome, everybody, to yet another Work After Hours live chat. It has been a while for sure. Let me mute my stuff. As you can see, I am way out of practice with this. But welcome, everybody, to another Work After Hours live chat. With us tonight, we've got Builder Shooter.
Hey, guys.
And we've got Many Things.
Hey, Manny, I'm on top.
Man, you are on top.
Ooh.
Hey, nifty little thing. Now I can actually shift you guys around. So, like, I can grab Builder and put him on the bottom or put him over here. I can take up my space too.
Ooh,
That's
I
nifty,
can be the
isn't
most
it?
important.
That's nifty. Anyway, so hey, everybody in the chat. We've been gone for a little while. It's been a few weeks. We took a little bit of a break. We're back. Not recharged or anything, but I mean, we're back. We survived. Builder, how you doing?
I'm tired.
Yeah, you've been busy.
Like, physically tired. Like, I worked hard this week.
Manny, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's been an okay day.
And I simply am. In the chat so far tonight, we've got Reload Rap. How's it going? We got Michael Alvins and Kathleen. I think that's about it for now. We'll hopefully get a few more filtering in as the evening goes on. We're probably not going to go as long as we usually used to go, just because I'm getting old and I can't do it anymore. But anyway, so as always, we've got our gun news. We actually ended up finding quite a few bits of gun news. Most of it is product news. Actually, I think all of it is product news. Then we've got some few questions that we'll hit, and then we'll ask you guys if you've got questions that you want. Yeah, Kathleen, I am compared to the other two guys in this chat, I am old. Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and let me get some news intro music going here. I need some better, like, less cheesy news intro, I think, don't I? Mm-hmm. Dang it. All right, anyway. So our first bit of gun news. It was funny because I was watching the Gun Collective, and he was talking about how versatile and quick to change Smith & Wesson is, and my take on this is Smith & Wesson finally joins the rest of the world by providing an optics-ready carry version of their M&P line. It is the M&P 2.0 Compact 4.0 optics-ready model. Now, it does come with front serrations, and something that I think they should all come with that they do, that most of them don't, it does come with suppressor height sights. So you're going to be able to get a co-witness with a larger dot. Now, I don't know how the dot mounts. I don't know if it's a plate system or a direct mount system.
If it's their core system, it's pretty freaking sweet.
Is it? I need to get myself one of those.
It is the core.
Yeah,
it's just not a performance center model.
Yeah, their core system, it came out before the Glock MOS, and if you compare them beside each other right now, it kicks the Glock's ass as far as optics mounting and stability and stuff.
It doesn't look like there's enough space on there for an adapter plate.
Maybe it's not. I don't know.
They're very thin.
If it is a core, it's worth it.
Okay. Well, cool. So the other portion of this, after making fun of them for finally coming out with this when everybody else under the sun has come out with this first, is the price. It MSRPs at $616. So nice. I mean, granted, we're going to see it. It'll probably hit shelves at about $550, would be my guess. Which definitely undercuts Glock, because Glock MOS those are still $650, aren't they? For a 19.
Yeah, 620 to 650.
Yeah,
I mean, you're to the point with that you can get that M&P and an Apex trigger, and you're still going to be around the price of a Glock 19 with shitty Glock sights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it all depends on how many mags it ships with it too, though.
2, I'm sure.
No,
But
they
Smith
have better
mags aren't
mags, though.
expensive. I mean, Smith mags are what, $25 ish? I mean, Glock mags are usually about 20, Smiths are 25, and then like you get into like the CZs and stuff that are 30. So they're not too bad. Pistol Pete says he was just on another chat that had 5,800 people in it. That would be absolutely awesome, and I would love our chat to ever be a quarter of that size, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
We're all about that.
Michael says, anyone else have ammo, but find themselves not wanting to use it? Yeah, I do. And we went through a massive amount of mine this last weekend doing a rather large project that had better freaking pay off. Because we burnt through easily a couple hundred rounds between the three of us this last week.
In the next 2 weekends, I'm gonna burn 500 rounds. I mean, that's 2 different USPSA matches, but it's still 500 rounds.
Yep, it hurts a little bit. Now, luckily,
Builder, you still gonna show up?
Yeah, I should be able to.
Oh, okay.
Man.
Well, okay, so we've been trying to go camping, and everybody in Indiana has been going camping. So to get camping spots is really hard.
It is.
And we found a couple spots that weekend, but it's at a campground we've never been to. So we'll see. My family comes before USPSA.
We are your family, Builder.
Yeah.
I know.
You adopted me. Didn't you know that?
It's true. Eat for head.
All right. And on that note, let's go ahead and jump to our next bit of news. So SIG has decided to milk the Legion cow a little bit more. They've come out with the SIG P220 Legion Carry SAO. So this is a 45 P220 Legion that is a half-inch shorter than the full size, and is obviously single action only. It is a limited production of 500 only made with, they are guessing an MSRP of about $1,200 because that's how much the full size is. So what are you guys' takes on that? Unwrap that for a minute. Let it simmer.
Years and years ago, when I was in high school, I wanted to get a SIG 226. And then my dad bought one. And then I wanted a SIG 229, and then my dad bought one. And then he wanted to finish his collection with a SIG 220. And I was like, Dad, I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a SIG 220 carry because it's just the better size. And then he bought a SIG 220 carry. And then I stopped telling him what I wanted.
That was a good call.
Because they were obviously for him. But of those SIGs, that 220 carry is definitely my favorite. It feels more balanced to me than a 226 or 229, which just feel fat and cumbersome. But with it having the slightly shorter slide and everything, I'm a big fan of the 220 carry. I don't understand why they're doing single action only. I've never messed with a single action only SIG, so I don't know how
It's
good
the
the
Legion
trigger pull
shtick
is.
on those.
But
I think it's actually the 220 is SAO. I think it's just designed that way. It was a competition like accuracy gun, I believe.
No, the 220, it's originally a single action, double action. That's what my dad's the single action, double action. They made a double action only variant. They made single action only variants, but I don't know how good their single action only is. I mean, if it would be comparable to a single action only CZ75, I mean, still, I don't think either one of those are comparable to a 1911. So
they're most definitely not. And honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think SIG triggers are as good as CZ or Beretta triggers, like anywhere near the ballpark. So I don't know if the single action would be as good as like a 75. But I mean, you're never gonna have that straight trigger pull of a 1911.
Yeah. My only real problem with the 220 in general is the fact that it's a single stack and it is a big, heavy gun for a single stack.
So what is that? Probably about like 7-8 rounds?
It's 8, yeah.
Okay, to answer, that was Pistol Pete asked that, how many rounds in it? So 8 rounds.
I had a 2020 and it was a Jam-O-Matic.
I mean, they're 10 millimeters. they have to hold more. They must hold 9 or whatever. The 220 Hunter, but still,
They don't have to. I mean,
if I was getting a 220, it would be a 220 Hunter 6-inch.
you and your gigantor guns.
Is he compensating for something?
Yes, I have plenty of room down there, so I can get whatever size gun I want.
True.
So get an MP5.
Ooh,
Yeah, that also costs massive amounts of money, though.
drive down there.
The thing that I think is, so it's a decent idea, but the 500 made, man, that price, if that's the MSRP, people are going to buy that thing, turn around and sell it on Gunbroker for $1,800.
Yeah, 2,500.
There's maybe like, so the actually, you know what? I'm gonna break rules for a little bit tonight and show everybody in the chat the thing that I hinted at on Instagram and never actually showed anybody.
Except me.
So, you haven't seen it in person though?
I don't really know what you're talking about.
You will.
Dibs.
Do you know me? Dang it, Manny.
This one you do not get to call dibs on.
Is it a potato launcher?
No, it comes in a big box that says Arrow on it.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to touch that.
No, but that's pretty.
It's the right color.
Is the best color.
The only thing better than that color is God's plaid.
So I recently Arrow recently decided that they were going to come out with a builder kit, which is a very nice
builder kit.
Yeah, a builder kit with a very nice, which is a very nice receiver set in anodized olive drab green. It was a limited run, and I just happened to get my hands on one. There's a green screen going up. That's awesome.
By that, he means he waited up till midnight and ordered it at 12:01.
No, they sold these things at, they went on sale at 9 o'clock. And, oh man, how do I get to this? There we go. Green screen. None. Because you guys got to see this thing.
Ooh, yeah.
It's just absolutely beautiful. So, these things went on sale at 9. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. And their website immediately, like I got it in my cart, went to my cart, and the website immediately crashed. So luckily I was working from home. So as I'm sitting here working, I was also, just hitting refresh on my keyboard and ended up lucking into getting one. So it's a matched receiver set along with a 15-inch one rail, which Builder has seen the one that is on the pistol, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Like, this thing is just...
Yeah, the only downside to that rail at all is going to be heat distribution, but
yes,
you can get over it.
But it'll dissipate. I mean, with all those holes, I mean...
I'm already over it.
I've used skinny rails before, and they haven't even been that skinny, and they get hot in a freaking hurry. Even with holes in them.
My Midwest gets decently warm, but I haven't shot it to, like, I haven't done magnums on magnums to get it that hot.
Yeah. I know 2 mags in on my Troy Alpha rail, and it was, it got a vertical grip.
Yeah. I like the style. I do and I don't like that one handguard, but it's also my complaint about my Midwest rail is that it doesn't have pick all the way across, all the way down. Like
all the way around.
Right. It depends on the purpose of the rifle, though. Like my home defense rifle should have pick all the way across, but so I don't have to put a pick section in a key mod section and then put a pressure pad on the top.
See, I would rather have it like that and have my whole rail smooth and customized to what I want rather than having to...
Did you mess with Manny's rifle, though?
I did not, no.
Your thumb, with him having to do that, your thumb gets in the way of your optic.
Yeah. And if I got a 193 mount for my LPVO, that wouldn't be as big of a problem. But with the 1.5, the 1.5, you see your thumb in 1X. And
no, that's not good.
Mm-hmm. Buy Midwest rails. They're delicious rails. They're worth the money.
The one I had, actually, I didn't have it. It was on a build that I did for somebody with a Dolo system, and it was pretty big. It was.
That was a Yankee Hill rail.
Oh, that's right. That was.
Yeah.
Midwest
It was
makes
big.
skinny stuff.
They do. Well, yeah. I haven't seen I saw the Dolos once or twice, like on a
Mhm.
IV88 video, and it like disappeared after that.
They still sell it. It's okay. It's on its third iteration now. They've strengthened it a little bit. I'm pretty sure I emailed them to try to get another one, and they never responded to me, even though that video's got a massive amount of views on it. But
yeah, the only downside we ever had to that whole entire setup was the mags sucked, but that wasn't the gun's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the gas block, because I was trying to fine tune where the gas block was, and it had loosened at one point, shifted it back, tightened it up, and it ran like a top. So, yeah, that one mag though, what mags were those?
ASC.
Yeah, and we dropped them in Indiana forest dirt, and it just gunked them up. It was disgustingly terrible.
Is that like Tennessee clay?
No, they fell on like leaves. Wet.
No, it was the bare ground in that the floor at the anvil, which is like Indiana forest dirt.
We have topsoil mixed with clay is what it is.
Yeah, it's just this really fine powder. Like it's not as sticky as like the Tennessee stuff, but it's fine. You know, if you kicked your foot, it would kick up a cloud. So
Come here. Give me a hug. They can't see you. You're leaving?
I can hear you though.
Okay, let's go ahead, and while Manny is saying goodnight,
Good girl for mommy, okay?
let's go ahead and hit up our next bit of news. So next up, we've got Nighthawk Customs is coming out with the Shadowhawk Long Slide. This should tickle builders' fancy. This is a
almost everything on that I read did except the very last part.
Yeah, right. So this is a 10 millimeter, 9-inch barrel, but with all the standard Nighthawk.
9-inch?
Sorry, 6-inch.
Oh, I got really excited.
With all the standard fancy Nighthawk stuffs, with an MSRP of, well, all right. You know what? Before I tell you what the MSRP is, chat, what do you think the MSRP is on this? It's a Nighthawk 10 millimeter, 6-inch barrel. While you're talking about that, builder, how big of a chubby do you have right now?
Not much. Nighthawk, I talked to a guy that has owned several different. He's owned Ed Brown, he's owned Les Bear, he's owned Nighthawk, he's owned Wilson Combat. And I was like, I was talking to him, and because I've always been impressed by Nighthawk, and I was like, so what do you think about the one gunsmith for one gun? And I was there actually working on his house, and he was like, so is there anything at your job that somebody's better at? Yeah. And he said, okay, now you come and you do everything, but he's better at this. Why wouldn't you want him to do this part and you do the part you're better at, and this guy do the part that he's better at? And it kind of made sense to me. And not that I'm ever going to be able to afford any of those guns, but I'd love to shoot one.
All right, so we got a couple of guesses here before we get to Manny. Reload Rap says $24.99. Michael Alvin says $26.50. Sam says $27.50. John Cash says $5,000. So, Manny, what's your thoughts on this while they're contemplating a little bit more?
Manny, are you dead?
He's frozen, I think. Yep, he froze. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and let you guys know the price. Kathleen says $159,567.99. That's also incorrect. So the MSRP of this thing is $399 or $339.90. I can't talk. $3,999. It's $4,000. It's that's a lot for a gun. That's a car.
Plus tax.
That's actually like a decently running car too. Like I've got guns that cost as much as cars, but not like a decent car that I wouldn't be like 100% embarrassed to drive. My guns are like embarrassed old school S10 with like holes in the cab corners.
Yeah, I mean that Nighthawk would be like a Miata, man. Mm-hmm. That Nighthawk would be a Miata with a Smith 1911 inside of it.
That's true. I'm not sure if that's a positive thing or not. So yeah, Nighthawk, expensive, but the two that I've shot have been absolutely glorious. I will say that. Okay, next up from Nelson Precision Manufacturing, we've got a Glock 44 all aluminum slide. This thing comes with optics cuts. It's all aluminum with interchangeable sights. It's got Glock sight cuts, and it's got front serrations on it and MSRPs for $220. That is 2/3 of the price of the actual gun itself. Builder, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's retarded. That's all. I mean, that's it. The Glock 44 in general, I think, is a waste of somebody's time and money and effort.
I think that this is what the Glock 44 should have come with from the factory.
Yeah, it would be like buying a car
specifically to change the engine,
and then buying more of the car to fix it aftermarket.
Yeah, it's
my brain's not working very well. I'm tired.
I mean, I've shot a 44. They shoot okay. Like, it's not, but honestly, if I'm going to have a 40, if I'm going to have a 22, like my Ruger LCP2 carries just as many rounds. That's one thing I don't get. Why did they not make that magazine hold more than 10 rounds? Like look at what Keltec is doing with 22 mags. And you're telling me Glock can't figure
look at what Keltec's doing with 22 long rifle.
That's
the
right.
CP33.
Like, you should be able to fit at least 15 rounds into that stupid thing. But there's just way better.
Making the P17.
Yes.
Yeah. So 17 rounds.
Yeah.
Same size gun.
There's just way better options out there for 22s than the Glock 44, and to go out and spend 2/3 the price of the actual gun to get what it should have been in the first place. There's no reason that Glock should not have come out with this as the slide on that gun. It should have been aluminum optics cut with interchangeable sights. So, screw you, Glock.
Yep.
In the meantime, hey guys, check out our video next Wednesday on 5 different options for aftermarket Glock triggers.
Spoiler alert, they're all better than factory.
Every single one. And not just a little bit either.
I think there was at least one giggle for each one.
Yes.
From somebody.
Yes. Multiples on most of them.
Yes. And one of the guys in the video was very protective about a certain trigger.
I know, right? Almost like it was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen.
It's precious.
Awkward. Now it's framed in his house. He doesn't even use it.
Yeah, the gun's got factory sights on it.
Man, I can't talk. Kathleen says supposedly the PSA dagger is coming out soon. I have tried to call PSA about this multiple times, and they don't answer their phones. They're still using the pandemic as an excuse. They don't answer emails either, so super awesome. But I really want a PSA dagger. I don't know why. I mean, it's because I want to stick it to Glock. So Wield and Well Arms says he puts a 3.5-pound trigger bar in all of his Glocks. That's probably a good call, and that actually made a gigantic difference in the outcome of these triggers, which you will see. It's this video ended up being, it's long, it's about a half an hour long. But there's a lot of good information in there if you guys are trying to, if you're looking into getting a new trigger. We've got triggers from Empire, Overwatch, Apex, Continuous Precision, and Agency, all in the exact same video where you guys can go and see what all of those, how they all compare to each other. So just throwing that out there if you guys are interested in that. All right, let's go ahead and hit up our next item of news. This time we've got a couple of flashlights. And Manny is back. Let me pop him in here. Hey, Manny, how's it going?
It's going.
Did you break your computer?
No, from the sounds it made when it fell over, I didn't know if it was going to survive, so we're okay for now.
Did you throw the rest of the cake too?
Did I what?
You threw it on the ground?
Threw it on the ground.
No, my computer is already on the floor.
This is a phone. It's not my dad.
dad's not a cell phone.
Oh.
I'm an adult. All right. Anyway, so now we're going to get into some flashlight news. First up, we've got the Surefire XSC. This is a 350 lumen with a 30-minute run time, featuring a hot swap rechargeable battery. This is a slimline light specifically made for the P365, the Hellcat, and thin frame Glocks. It's got a specific mount for each one of those. I don't know if you have to buy the specific model or if you buy one and it comes with all of those. That I don't know. And this thing MSRP's for $329. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Manny, let's go with you first.
Meh. I mean, it's great that they're trying to accommodate that small pistol category that everyone's carrying, but it doesn't give me the fizz. It's like, well, you should have had this like 2 years ago kind of fizz. Like,
yep. Builder, what do you think? Oh, Manny, keep going.
It's like, if you can't be behind the times, you need to get ahead of the game. So when like the Hellcat dropped or the P365, that's when that light needed to be available, not 3 years later.
I don't think the gun manufacturers did a very good job of releasing their rail design specs out into the world. I think that they wanted people to go to them for adapters and not for light companies to develop specific lights. But
Right.
Anyway, Builder, what are your thoughts?
First off, the juice. Get rid of that thing. It's
What?
scary.
The what?
His comment in the
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, that makes me glad that I didn't get his dad and that we got the agency.
I think this is what the XC1 and XC2 should have been.
Uh-huh.
It's Surefire price, so you can't expect any better than that. But the hot swap battery, I think, is pretty stinking sweet. But other than that, I mean, I think it's just going to work. Just like all the Surefire stuff, it's just going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree. It's about damn time. I am underwhelmed with the specs on it. 350 lumens is crap in today's world of weapons lights. I'm sorry, but I think 500 or more would be necessary. And a 30, I'm not going to give him too much crap on the runtime because let's be honest, like a weapons light won't be on for 30 minutes straight.
Mhm.
It will along its life, but it's just, so 30 minutes, that's fine. The MSRP of $329, these things will probably sell at $299, which is still too high in my opinion. I think they should be probably half that. That's the Surefire way. They're a lot like oh dang it, who makes the the dot company? Why can't I never remember their name?
Trijicon?
Nope. The mailbox.
Aim point.
Aim point. That's it. They're the aim point of the flashlight world.
People are going to buy them.
Yeah, they are because they ride the coattails of the law enforcement and military that swear by them and use all of that clout to rack up their prices. And I mean, it doesn't work. Yeah. Does it work necessarily better than some of the competition? No. I mean, it works better than probably 75% of the competition, but there's a couple other brands in there that work as well.
Yeah, Trijicon does the same thing. Trijicon needed to innovate more than the RMRCC.
I don't disagree with that. So,
which has come out since our last live chat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Hey, Trijicon came out with a RMR that's even smaller and it looks like crap,
and it's more expensive.
So,
and it only is a niche.
$5 more expensive. It just makes no sense. Am I that cheap or that far off in my entire world? Like where just some things shouldn't cost what they cost. Like take Streamlight for example, though. Like I think Streamlights are fairly priced. Olight, I think Olights are a little overpriced. But
that's why they do the sales though, because then it actually brings it to where it needs to be in line.
Yeah.
Just like Vertex. Vertex, I have a problem with because they'll give out a 25% discount code to all their influencers for people to use. So their things are overpriced by 25%.
Yeah, it's like Kohl's. You go there and they're having a sale, and it's like the sale is putting the stuff at what the price is supposed to be rather than what it's marked at.
But you get Kohl's cash, so then you come back and buy crap with it. It's not on sale.
It's true. Streamlight doesn't give, or Surefire doesn't give you Surefire cash.
I wish.
I got EOTech cash one time.
You did get EOTech cash one time. That was kind of
like EOTech cash you didn't even know about.
Oh, nice.
From a class action lawsuit.
Jeremy Bryant says if Surefire lights were $600, people would still buy them. They have the best customer service. Okay, I mean that's what the heck is going on? I'm hearing. Okay, hearing background sounds of.
I'm in a camper.
Huh?
I'm in a camper.
Is that what that was? Oh, is that the road sound, or did you just rip it ass?
Oh no, that was my wife shutting a cupboard door upstairs.
Oh, okay, that's not nearly as funny as if
my camper's quiet, and my dog's over there snoring. But
is he in the camper?
Yeah, he's a camper dog.
Oh,
he's
nice.
This is his undisclosed bunker outside in his driveway.
Right. All right. Let's go ahead and
Did anyone watch my episode on the Joe Rogan show?
No, I did not.
Well, I noticed Joe Rogan's set looks like shit. So he's like in like a thing that feels like a bunker. It's like I liked it when he sat at the table. That shows you how much I actually watched Joe Rogan. Like I liked the table better than the stupid bunker.
I saw it's finally live on Spotify, and there's like 1,537 episodes now.
Yeah, by the end of the year, it will only be on Spotify, including the video, which is good because his video quality went to crap. Like they just
sold it for $100 million.
I know. The dude is. You would think for that much money, he could have made a set that didn't look like my freaking basement.
Hey, we'd be really happy if it looked like that. If our basements looked like that.
I don't know. That set, it's tiny and it's uncomfortable, and it doesn't make a good backdrop.
The light is terrible. I mean, it's grainy. It's orange.
In their guest camera angle, Rogan's head is sitting in the corner of the shot. It's awesome. All right, next up in our gun news is Streamlight's. It's their contender with the XSC, the Streamlight TLR7 sub. This is a TLR7 for the railed 43X48, 365, and Hellcat. Do we have an MSRP on that guy?
No.
Okay, what do you guys think about it while I look up for the MSRP?
It's not available online. Any information about it is not available. The only way I knew about this was literally from a post from Mr. Guns and Gear. He posted a picture of it.
That guy knows stuff.
For reference, it is a TLR7, so that means it is 500 lumens. That means
that's good.
TLR7.
Mm-hmm. The TLR7 is
a good weapon light.
It is. It's. Give me just a second, and I will get one out. 8, 7. Yep, that's it. So it is comparatively in size shorter than, smaller than like the Olight, and it's just a good little light. Like,
is it Glock 19 size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is. Let me grab my 19, and I will show you. Keep talking.
And show off that fancy goldness, please. But it'd be better if it was OD. Anyway, I don't know. The light seems like a good direction. Depending on what the price point is, it'll probably be reasonable. Maybe $150, maybe. I don't know where Streamlight pistol lights have been lately since I haven't bought any. TLR 1 HL for the win. 1,000 lumen.
I that's where I sit too. I like the bigger lights, but I also don't have a light bearing holster, so
I'm
Not
hoping not.
anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's it on a 19. Sits flush in the muzzle.
Ooh, what is that under your finger there?
Little guy right here. That little guy is a
Oh, look at that.
Agency Arms trigger that might be making an appearance in next Wednesday's video.
Oh man, I guess nobody can figure out which one worked kept.
Right?
It's not as good as mine though.
I do want to point out it's also the one that I paid for.
And nobody can figure out that Manny got the continuous precision, and nobody can figure out who got the other 3.
I will say that the controls on the TLR7 need to be moved backwards.
They fixed that with the TLR7A.
Did they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a high and a low model, isn't it? The
I
high
might
and low
have one of
because-
those too. 8. You mean this?
Yep.
I hope.
Oh, why do
Are
I
you
have
just-
so much stuff? What?
Are you just hoarding those in an ammo can?
Yes?
You could be giving new gun owners
Those aren't
flashlights.
his.
They're not mine.
Oh, are they yours, builders?
No.
No, think about what I do.
I know, but still, are you just hoarding them in the box?
Yep.
Wait, so my comment from earlier would have been totally applicable
Which comment?
Yeah.
about him buying it.
Except he doesn't get to keep them.
Yeah, these aren't mine. Like, I got to send them back.
Oh, so long-term borrowing?
I mean, until I get them, until I do work with them.
That's more what the two of us do.
Oh yeah.
Right.
No, you long-term borrow.
Hey, I just got my Beretta back. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. Whatever that Beretta knockoff thing was, that thing was horrible. I'm sorry.
Hey.
It looked decent, but the trigger was bad.
You're comparing it to a worked Beretta trigger.
No,
My
I'm comparing
trigger
that to a
was bad.
stock Gen 5 17
There
that
we go.
Builder owned.
Ooh.
Can we put that trigger back in there and then compare the two?
No,
stock-
that trigger will never go back in that
Yeah,
gun.
the A does make that significantly better.
And for the final bit of gun
No, I'm
news,
talking flashlights still.
we
That
have
is
the
the last
Mod
flashlight.
Light PL350, which we don't have many specs on other than the fact that I think it's just an improved X300. I mean,
It is.
At least somebody improved the X300.
Well, Mod Light does that. They take Streamlight and they're like, this is a really good, or Surefire. They take Surefire and they're like, this is a really good light. Let's make it better. And then they
and then
do.
charge an extra $100.
I did see on the post I sent you guys, Philster commented on there and he said, that's a pretty good switch you got on the back of that. So they
Yep.
must be running his arc switch on it.
No, I'll bet
Yep.
you're right.
It has the same controls as an X300, but you can take the head off and the battery can be swapped out without taking the flashlight body off the rail.
Now that is nice.
Mhm.
And it takes an 18350, I want to say. I can't remember off the top of my head, so it's rechargeable. It's gonna at least probably be 1,000 lumens. Or 600.
It's a
But-
Mod Light. If it doesn't have great lumens, it's going to have fantastic candela anyway.
But I don't think you need candela in a pistol light, though. I think you need more. I think you need more lumens. But
Yeah.
you can put all the heads on it, even the IR heads on it. Just from the 5-minute live I watched of Steve Fisher and Corey from Mod Light. So
I love people in the IR stuff. They're like, you could put IR heads on it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, for my $5,000 nods.
hey, I mean,
looks
like
like
Aaron
no.
Cowan's gonna do it. John Dufresne will do it.
Yes, but why?
Because they
I don't want an IR light. I don't
wait.
care.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. T-Rex Arms fanboys want
Yes.
that IR light.
Right.
That's the best answer.
I'll say, which one is it? This? Not that one.
Hashtag sponsor us, Rain.
No, not this. The new, I'll say Olight did a pretty nifty thing with one of their newer guns. They actually put the laser. I'm not a big laser fan.
Yeah,
They put the laser
bulber.
right above the LED diode inside the dish of the flashlight, so you don't get the additional thing on the bottom, so
Yeah,
you can run it in
bulber
the
mini.
same holster. Yeah. Thing is, I mean, that's actually a pretty good move. Now, I'm curious how much of your light it actually kills, because having cut a hole in the reflector, you are going to minimize. You're going to lose light up into that hole, but
the Balder Mini that's based off of the PL2 Mini
Yes.
And it wasn't like super high lumen anyway. I think it was
No.
500 or 700, something like that.
500. I actually don't like the PL2 Mini. I like the PL1.
Mhm.
They're the Mini, the first one.
Okay.
So,
Bless you, Manny.
all right. So that is pretty
all we
much
need,
it
man.
as far as gun news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots and lots of new products, which is kind of what I expected to see months ago. Honestly, like I think gun companies lost a lot of money. Do you guys think that this was stuff that was supposed to be coming out around the like NRAM or earlier this year, and they just took their time with it? Or do you think this is when it was supposed to release? Or do you think that it was supposed to maybe release next SHOT Show, and they, in prediction that SHOT Show is being canceled, are trying to jump on the train of sales now?
I think it's a little early for SHOT Show, but I think it's a mixture of holding off from NRAM and just releasing now.
My bet is that it was supposed to be for NRAM, but they were glad NRAM got canceled, so they had more time to figure things out and get things buttoned up instead of it being rough and not introducible to the market immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't see anything that wouldn't have happened with SHOT Show might be canceled. I don't know. Because I know a couple weeks ago, I think on the Gun Collective, they said NRAM might be not NRAM, but SHOT Show might be canceled.
It should be. I mean, I'm not
SEMA's canceled. I think the other three big shows
and after are already canceled.
Yeah, I think the adult entertainment one got canceled too.
And there's one thing that our industry doesn't need, and that's negative press from being what is publicly viewed as irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I think it should be.
And what do we say? People are going to online or like video cast demonstrations for products instead of booths.
Yeah, that's crap. I think they should just hold off and do NRAM and make NRAM Gigantor.
Yeah, the nice thing is that NRAM is for the people, you and I, not the company who's trying to make a deal.
But that also makes it difficult for the companies to make deals because, like, you know, NRAM comes up and I'll go and I want to talk to those people too. So
the deals at SHOT Show are worth SHOT Show being there. Like they're fantastic.
Or make it less about the media going and make it more for just companies. I don't really think you need the SHOT Show coverage because the companies are still going to release their marketing and their advertisement on their own. I don't know if you need like Mr. Guns and Gear and Last Line of Defense and guys like that to go cover the show.
But if there's anything that I trust less than paid YouTubers, it's the companies themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, I'll probably get shunned for saying this, but if you got rid of all the, you guys haven't been there, if you got rid of all the like girls that were there, not saying women aren't allowed there, but I'm saying like
the gun bunnies,
the models and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you'd take out 10% of the people there.
Yeah,
and it would be beneficial. I mean, that's 10% less people that are there.
I think
would save the company's money.
I think that practice is starting to wane off now. I'm seeing significantly less of it on the gram.
I think it's because of the gram filtering though with algorithms though to block us from our gun
because even the companies that I know, because Instagram bombards me with scantily clad women
constantly.
I don't see those on the gun companies that I follow. They don't use gun bunnies as much as they did 2 or 3 years ago. So,
well,
yeah.
But I remember last year, and particularly Safariland had so many people they brought in, like media, like I guess shooters, like Milspec Mojo, and then the whole like competition Safariland team was there. They had like 30 people who they brought in like as influencers essentially. And it's like that's way too many for one booth, even Safariland size to. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of
you could get by with 6 sales reps and you're done.
Sometime I will go to NRAM. I will be there.
You mean SHOT Show?
Yes, that one.
Okay. Let's go together.
I love
All
it.
right, I am willing to give you guys 3 questions.
Okay.
From the questions, and then
you're out. That's fine, because I wanted to sit you about an hour tonight anyway.
I figure you would probably be following.
I wanted to run.
My bad.
So, Wheeled and Well Armed says, is the flashlight tumbler coffee can part of your flashlight torture test? No, however, this Canik TP9 SF Elite is. I specifically bought this gun to first review and then drop with lights attached to it.
All right, Aaron Cowan. Can we make some fence posts, though?
I hate fence posts.
I'll punch some fence posts. You give me this and I'll punch some freaking fence posts, because I'll tell you what, I'm gonna.
Hey, wait, hold that up again.
Yeah.
Look at that. See, everybody? Smith & Wesson has beat one person to, or one company to an optics ready carry gun.
One company.
I don't know. Could you carry their
Carry
out? Could you carry their big? What I don't know all the names of the Canics. Could you carry the big one?
34.
It's big.
Yes,
I mean,
it's the same size gun.
Well,
Okay.
yes.
Some people carry P10Fs. I don't understand why. Jordan's not on here. Dang it.
No, he's not. Hopefully for good reasons.
Yeah. Friends, get your friends back on these things. We missed you all.
Jordan's busy this week.
Oh, it's because he's grocery shopping week.
No, he's definitely not grocery shopping.
Oh, is it that? Are they expecting? Is it that time already?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I better send him a message then.
Maybe. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'll give you guys a little sneak hint on the TP9 SF Elite. It feels cheap as shit.
It does. I mean, that's the one thing I felt about that. I was like, oh.
So I was not very excited about it at all when Word got it. Like, he was very excited. He's like, "Look, I bought it." I'm like, "Woohoo!" And then he showed me something else.
Pistol.
He showed me something else that he picked up the same day, and I was more excited about that. I shot them both, and we're just at a private range. We had steel hanging up, and I grabbed a handful of 9. I put it in the mag, and it ended up being 8 rounds. And I shot at 8 different targets, and all 8 of them went ding. And I was like, "Cool, that's better than I had expected." And I put it down, and I picked up the one I was more excited about, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say what it was or not, so I'm not going to.
You can.
Okay, it was a Glock 48
MOS version.
Yeah, railed MOS version. I loaded 10 rounds in it because I actually cared. And I shot it, and I'm definitely a full-size Glock fan. It shot great, but it being narrower just didn't help my hand.
Wheeled and Well Armed says, "Work, is that the Salient Arms?" Hell no. I'm not spending 700 plus on a Canik. This is just
a non-optics ready.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I wouldn't spend $700 on an optics ready Canik.
I remember when Jaeger was selling those things like hotcakes to all his fanboys.
I mean, I'll say this: it worked. Like, it works. It shoots okay. As builders, the sights are awesome. I mean, they're Warren Tacticals.
Warren,
yeah. So I mean, they're good sights. And again, it shoots okay. It just feels cheap. This is the standard SF Elite tungsten slide. I did hold out for the tungsten slide because the black ones look terrible.
It looks really cool. It just does not feel good.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm kind of jelly that I didn't get.
I don't like the looks of it. I don't like the feel of it. It did win some brownie points with me though because it shot really well.
Yeah. There's just some things about it that are weird, but we'll go over that more when we eventually do a review on it. I need to get out and shoot.
Well, and Nils can destroy with those things, but what? Nils is a god.
Oh,
with people like Nils and JJ Rakaza, it doesn't matter what guns in their hand. They're going to shred with whatever they have.
Remember when JJ was shooting a Caracal?
Caracal? Yeah.
Yeah, the Caracal. Remember that?
I went to the SHOT Show the year they debuted, and they had this huge big booth set up, and they were the only company in the entire thing giving stuff away. And I got a Caracal shirt, I got a Caracal hat, I got a Caracal mug. Then, like 3 months later, they're gone.
Yeah,
I shot one though. It shot well.
Oh, there's a bit of news that we missed. that we forgot to bring up.
The Daniel Defense?
The Daniel Defense. So, Daniel Defense has been in the firearms world for quite a while now. They've made really good ARs for a long time. They broke into the bolt gun world a year ago. At NRAM was our first look at their bolt gun, and there's been a lot of talk about them doing a Glock knockoff for a long time. Now that the Gen 3 Glocks have come out of patent and everybody's starting to make some. Well, is it confirmed? It's confirmed, right?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed. They are indeed making a pistol, but it is not a Glock. They purchased the rights and all of the intellectual property to the Hudson H9. And
take my money.
Huh?
Take my money.
Yeah. They will be. They said, from what I understand of it, they are making improvements on it, which is good because it did have problems. I'm not going to disagree with that, but it was the first innovative pistol in quite a while. A lot of people had just been falling in line, and it was a new twist to the striker fired gun world. So I'm excited to see what they can pull off with it, but I do hope that in addition to their new design, their new model, that they also manufacture replacement parts for the originals, because there's a lot of original owners out there who are kind of up crap creek now with Hudson having gone under. I know somebody who owns one who is scared to shoot it because if he breaks it, he can't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was really excited when those first launched.
Fragile?
No, they're not that fragile per se, but they did, like, you know how a lot of when you get a purely new gun, a lot of the time in the early models, firing pins will break or strikers will break. You'll get the nubs breaking or something. And some of the H9s did have that problem. And the fact that some of them had that problem makes him nervous enough that he's not willing to risk never being able to shoot that gun again. Which, you know, if you're never going to shoot it again versus never being able to shoot it again, I don't know how much of a difference there is there, but I agree with him. I would do the exact same thing. I would rather have it functional and never shoot it again than shoot it and break it and have it non-functional.
If I believe I'm correct, I think they also had recoil system problems as well. Those were breaking off.
The springs tended to the guide rod would bend and the spring would bind.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I always wanted one when they first launched because they looked pretty cool. Because it's kind of like that mix of a Glock and a 1911 trigger. So
I would still love one. I didn't get to shoot one, but I did get to play with one, and the trigger is interesting. Mm-hmm. It's not great, but it's interesting for sure.
It's weird how the dingus is on the top.
Mm-hmm. It backwards folds, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they wanted to keep that sliding action like a 1911, which is pretty cool in a striker fired gun.
It really is. It's technically it's, well, I don't know if it's a preferred trigger movement because your hand, one thing that I've noticed a lot recently is that the crux of my hand sits significantly above where the trigger is. So I'm constantly pulling up with my trigger finger. And it would be interesting to see about getting a system that moved linearly, but towards, like, was angled up and towards the rear section of the backstrap. But that's just me musing about what people should do.
Now, if it doesn't come out optics ready, I mean, they missed their mark because if they're going to buy something and fix it and make it better, it needs to be optics ready, some form of plate or pick an optic. Like
it is Daniel Defense we're talking about. They do not half-ass things,
right?
You know, usually. So it'll be interesting to see what they can pull off.
And they've lost steam. I haven't hardly seen anything about them in the AR-15 market besides I think they came out with a bolt gun not too long ago.
There is not.
Yeah, the bolt gun was fantastic.
Oh, it was. It was smooth and glorious with a trigger that would. Yeah.
Did you meet Marty Daniels?
Huh?
Did you meet Marty Daniels?
No.
Maybe.
I don't know who the dude was, but
the bolt felt like it was on ball bearings.
It was amazing. The trigger was like breaking a glass bar. Like it was just and it was light. But there's there's not a whole lot of room left in the AR-15 world to innovate. Like that platform itself has been pretty well expanded. So, it's not necessarily that maybe they haven't come out with anything. They just haven't come out with anything new because you're getting to the point where there's not new stuff to come out with without majorly changing the platform. I think that's the next big thing in semi-automatic rifles. Somebody's going to come out with a platform to truly contend with the AKs and the ARs.
Scars.
No.
That are worth a damn. Ooh, a bog in 5.56.
I would own that. The only problem is that
it's made by B&T.
Yeah, that's true. The bogs have recoil system issues. Builder and I lucked out. We got the early bogs with the dual recoil spring system. The single recoil spring systems tend to have problems with getting stuff kind of up and in the way. So, Harry says a bog in 5.6 is just a cheaper B&T. That's exactly what Builder just said. Yeah.
I would like to see a 16
Rapper Jacks. Okay, really quick. Got to send a huge thank you to Super Balls.
All right.
Yeah. Who's asking, how do we feel about the Robinson Arms XCRL, a mix between an AR and an AK? I actually don't know anything about that, and I'm going to have to
looked into those years and years ago, and I always thought they were really sweet.
Will you put it on the screen?
Yep.
I want to say that you could switch between AR mags and AK mags, and I want to say it's a lot like the ARAC. But I know for a while I thought the AR-15s were stupid, so I wanted to find something else.
It looks kind of like a Scar or a Bren or that body style. No, that's
for $2,000. That's not too bad of a price.
No, that's actually not. I mean, again, we were looking at.
It looks like that Bushmaster ARC a little bit too.
Yeah.
Oh, the ACR, I think.
That breaks Builder's heart.
What?
The Bushmaster. Yeah.
Don't talk to me about that.
I don't know. I prefer. I prefer an AR style magazine release compared to the paddle.
The Beretta version.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, my friend. I know. Well, dang it! Now I want one of these. That kind of looks awesome.
Email
Super Balls is going to need to send me approximately $1,950 more so I can get one.
Yeah, I mean, they have been out for years and years and years, and I have not heard much. I've never heard anything bad about them, and I've
never heard about them though. But Robinson Arms, I've never heard of them either. So maybe I need to make a phone call. I'm gonna keep that up.
I'm trying to remember where it must have been like a Nut and Fancy video or something.
How did you make it through long enough to find out what the product was?
It's weird. He released a video recently, like yesterday. It came in my feed, and I was like, nope, I'm not watching you because you're going to be a half hour to 50 minutes long, and I don't have time to listen to you ramble on bullshit.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
Now, if he's doing a gun review and I'm interested in that gun, I will listen to the rambling bull crap, but it wasn't.
Dang, Super Balls. Another $20 super chat. Appreciate it. Again, I'm going to throw you up on the thing this time.
Did Locke change his name or something?
I know. I'm not sure.
We appreciate you.
Now I really am going to have to get that thing because, dang it. I've been wanting a Bren 2 for a good long time, but they will not come out with the freaking rifle versions. They're still on the pistol.
14.5-inch pistol. That's stupid.
Yeah, I don't want a pistol brace on that. I want the full freaking gun. But I digress. I would buy it in 5.56 though. None of that 7.62 by 39 crap. I'm not a com.
I would say I do want a Strybog that's legal for USPSA carry optics, though. I want
Builder and I were just talking about that. What'd you say?
They make them, they're just not here.
Yeah,
right. I would love it if they imported it.
They won't.
I've seen them. They look great.
Aesthetically, please.
I mean,
they're pretty ugly.
But it looks like a bog. It's not like some
gun
mangled
itself is
contraption.
ugly, Builder.
Hmm?
The bog itself is ugly, but
I
that's
know,
one
but it's like
reason you
extra.
love it. That's true.
It just has like double the barrel.
What'd you
6
find,
days
Builder?
and 23 hours left on a Beretta ARX 100 on Gunbroker.
Ah, wait, which one is that?
A Beretta ARX 100,
How much?
800 is current
Ooh,
bid.
wow. So Harry says the XCR kind of flopped in the US due to timing, but it took off in Canada because it wasn't as restricted as the other options, just like the VZ58.
Mm-hmm.
That's nifty.
Yeah.
And yeah, Harry. So Harry also says if you're shooting PCC, the MPX is the only real option. The MPX is by far, from the PCCs that I have shot, has been the king of that world. Like it's
Like a lot.
yeah, like it's so far above. One of the other popular options is the CZ Scorpion, and the MPX is so much better than the Scorpion. It's not even funny. Like it's just miles ahead of that gun. And I'm a CZ guy, mind you. Like,
well,
that being said, I now own almost as many SIGs as I do CZs.
Did you see Aaron Cowan's SIG?
Probably
I mean,
not.
it's like the CZ Scorpion review recently. I think it was last week's video. He loves it, but he hates it because of some of the features. But he loves shooting. He gets the fizz for shooting that gun though.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. A bog looks better. I like a bog more than the CZ.
In use, I also like the bog more. That's why I own a Strybog. It's just for me in use a better gun.
I think you can make a Scorpion a better gun, but it takes a lot of money. I think a Strybog is a better gun from the factory.
I agree. I mean, the Strybog comes ambi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
you buy the right model,
not ambi, but it's interchangeable. So,
Harry beat me to it.
which part? The CZ
Reload Rap said the only thing we need is a 45 Keltec sub 2000. I was going to say 10 millimeter, but he beat me to it. You know what?
I actually
7 SIG.
Huh?
Ew! What? No. That's
Yeah, then you just have to change the barrel. Everything else works.
But the FUDs.
Hey, don't talk that much about the FUD.
You use FUD mags.
Oh, okay. FUD. There you go.
You guys are really cutting into your question time because we're over an hour now, and I'm sleepy.
I'm okay with cutting into question time. We don't have to cut. We don't have to do questions. Honestly, it's better to talk to the chat anyway.
Yeah, it's quite nice instead of us rambling through our questions. And Harry finally joined us after messaging me for like 10 minutes and then decided to join us.
He's even with the. Oh no, he's not with internet tonight. He was at a place with internet.
Yeah. Did you see his post about the Lynx bag?
Nope.
Oh my lord, it was full of everything.
Those Lynx bags are freaking awesome. Like,
dang it! Did you have the Lynx bag last weekend?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to see it in October though.
Okay, it'll be there. I take it.
Holy crap! That thing is full.
Yeah.
Full. Right, I gotta look now. Y'all are making me jelly that I didn't see it.
That basket weave stippling on your Glock is beautiful, Harry.
Who should I get my Glock? Oh, wait, so we're gonna really silicon carbide my Glock?
Work is.
Okay.
What did I do?
You're gonna silicon carbide?
Yeah, we're gonna try some silicon carbiding.
All right, we'll do
that. I'll be right back while you guys are talking.
Okay. Do you drink beer?
I want to sleep.
Fielder, what are you doing tomorrow?
Working.
Anything fun at work, or are you framing?
Framing.
Oh, I'm sorry, friend.
I didn't
all week I have built the floor.
Holy crap, you two! Come on.
What?
Well, I asked it.
That's what I've been doing.
I know. I said don't talk about that. We're not talking about work. That's serious crap. What we're talking about today.
My son got a home run in T-ball today.
Woohoo! Congratulations, his son. I'm not going to say his name because,
he's better than I didn't even get to hit the T-ball in T-ball when I was that young.
Okay, so by home run, it meant he was the last batter.
Did he do that last week too?
Yeah, he got a home run last week too.
Yay!
Home run last week. We play with a little foam Nerf ball that we have, and then my youngest has a fake axe, and so I throw the football at him, and he flaps it with the axe. So we've been doing batting practice lately.
You know, it's a very scary weapon for a kid to have in their hand: a wiffle ball bat, an actual like the yellow wiffle ball bat. Those things hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, they also kill lightning bugs really well.
Why are you killing lightning bugs?
I wanted to while we're here, I wanted to talk about this really quick, because Harry's Holsters is he's coming out with releasing 2 new products this week, tomorrow, I believe. Harry, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. He isn't.
Hey, Harry says he can hop on.
He can. Somebody is. Yeah, I can hear.
Sorry. I'm good. I fixed it.
Okay.
Things.
Hop on, brother. We'll wait for you. We won't be on too much long.
He can't really hop. I mean, not until I send him a thing.
Texting comes faster, Mr. Fingers.
What? Yeah, if I typed, it would be way faster, but I can't text him links to things.
So I called work earlier today, and he was like thudding away on that keyboard like it was like nobody's business. I got jealous.
I'm a very fast but also loud typer.
Hopefully, your person. We have somebody at work who's a loud typer, but he hunt and pecks. He breaks keyboards once a month. We have to replace his keyboard. It's that bad.
All right. Give me just a sec.
I got these cool headphones though from Goodwill today. $5.
You and your Goodwill deals. How do you find those? Because we don't have Goodwill deals here that you can find.
Well, this was something new from Target. Good, like probably something that was worth $40 at Target. And they listed it for $5 as a new good at Goodwill.
Jeez, that was quick.
Hey,
super speed.
Hey, Harry.
What you guys up to?
Look at that internet. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I just replied to your message or your thing about your stippling.
Oh, here we
Who
go.
did the basket weave on that?
It's Alan Stippling or something like that. They're out of Utah.
Hmm.
And I got to be honest, it looks beautiful. It's beautiful in person, but the texture is not, for what I paid, I would have expected a better, grippier texture.
I was the same way with my tree bark. He told me that it was going to be really aggressive and it was going to tear up my clothes, and I was like, whatever. Just do it because I want tree bark, and it was pretty smooth.
Yeah,
It didn't matter. My hands are already built in stippling, so
I have been underwhelmed by every aftermarket stipple job I have ever touched now that I've owned an RTF2 Glock and CZP-10s.
yeah.
even a Gen 5 Glock. I mean, it doesn't move in your hand.
No.
No, if you're putting enough pressure on it, yeah, it digs in there for being a stock factory.
I run the large backstrap on my Gen 5 Glock.
I run the large mansion because I have adult size hands.
Meeting with the beaver tail.
But so I run that, and I'm wondering how the stippling job would look on it. And I can justify stippling pretty easy for a marketing expense. But I'll be honest, I almost feel like after a year of using the gun, it becomes slicker than it is from the factory.
Yeah.
And that's with a good stipple job,
Yeah.
not a mediocre one. And I've seen a couple guys that seem like they do a pretty good job, but I almost want them to be out for 3 or 4 years before, and by that time they've already gone out of business or they've got a 9-month lead time.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Stip Grips has been out for a long time, but like you said, that's like 9 months.
Yeah.
Maybe Boresight Solutions. I mean, I know they're very reputable, but I don't know what their lead time is. But it looks like it stays forever.
Supposedly you're supposed to clean it out, but mine never got stuff in it. It just got more slick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about how stippling works. I mean, essentially what they do is they build up a little curl on the end, and essentially you wear that off. And it's
Well, they stipple it, and then if you've got a good stipple guy or a guy who is incredibly focused on the aesthetically pleasing aspect of it, he goes over with the blowtorch and fries off all of those high edges that are actually giving you grip and basically melts it back down to a nice soft pattern to improve the aesthetics of it, but it just doesn't grip as well anymore.
it's hard, like you said, the P10C. It's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
And the RTF Glock, I can pick up a Gen 3 RTF Glock when I haven't shot for months.
Mm-hmm.
And I can shoot that gun fast.
Yes.
It lets your grip get away with so much bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a really mediocre shooter and perform pretty well with that.
Mm-hmm. I almost missed that gun. Almost.
If it was a 17, I probably would have tried to buy it from you, but not the 19.
No, it's the Gen 3 frame. I just can't do Gen 3 frames. I get slide bite too easy on them.
Gen 3 19 is the only 19 that actually fit in my hand because I don't run backstraps. I just don't. Maybe if I did run a backstrap, a 19 would fit better, but I don't.
I picked up a Vickers edition, one of the gray Vickers edition.
Yeah.
For like $350.
Wow.
Wow.
It came into my local gun shop and it's scratched up. It's not in the best condition. The guy who had it used it. And because of that, I guess the fact it's a quote unquote collectible Glock, the second you get a scratch on it, it loses more value than, say, a regular Glock. But I can't think of a better gun for the money that I've ever bought as far as it's got good sights on it. It's got the perfect stiffling on the grip. I mean, you just can't beat that.
Builder, do you remember how much I got my RTF2 for?
That wasn't much.
I want to say 350, 375.
I was thinking it was between 350 and 4.
Yeah. Like it was, I stole that thing.
Yeah, you robbed them.
I sold it for well over that with a $50. Like I also included a $50 barrel that I had gotten for free. So,
did you have fish gills on it?
No,
it didn't have fish gills.
I'm not a fan of the fish gills. I don't like them.
No, but the fish gills bring in money.
Yes, they do.
My first Glock, I had a business, and I remember when I turned 15, I drove myself with my driver's permit with my dad riding. We went to the gun store and picked up that Glock that I'd worked all summer to save the money for. And that was like my first time driving because I got my learner's permit, bought a gun. It was just awesome.
The best day ever.
It was an RTF2 Glock, though, with the fish gills.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So, I mean, that's a really cool first handgun, I think. And I've had people offer me like $1,200, $1,400 for that gun. But, I mean.
Was it 19 or 17?
19.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 9mm with
are
fish
more
gills
rare.
bring stupid money.
Yeah.
Which ones?
9mm with fish gills. The 40s are actually fairly common and a lot less desirable.
Yeah.
It's because it's in 40 cal, though.
It is.
Well, there were a lot of departments that issued Glock 22s.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, people offer me stupid money for that all the time, but because it has so much sentimental value, I mean, people would have to offer me like life-changing money, which nobody's ever going to do. It's one of those guns.
Well, hey, Harry, since we got you here, you got a thing you want to talk about?
Well, the new holsters, they're going to be out tomorrow, at least a lot of them.
Yeah. Let's see, you're doing both the Contender and the Singleton line, right?
Yep.
All right. So for those of you who are still in the chat, Harry's coming out with a couple of new holster lines tomorrow. He's got the Singleton, which is a bit of a simplified carry holster. Would you say?
Yeah, it's much more simple than the holster that I currently sell that's being discontinued, but I think it brings a lot of advantage to the table.
Mm-hmm.
It offers a lot of features. I mean, you've been running one for what, at least the past month, maybe 2 months?
Oh, it's been 2 or 3 months now, and this is a gun that I have 3 other holsters for, and I highly prefer the Singleton. Like I've not even touched one of the holsters. I'm actually getting ready to pull one of the wings off of one of the other ones because I'm not going back to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit different design than what people are used to, but
it makes so much sense though.
It really does. If somebody's looking for a simple, easy to use holster that just works well, and I hate oversimplifying the product, but there's a lot of small little features built in, which I'll let work and others kind of talk about that on video, that make it, I think, more comfortable than most of the competitors. And Street Carry Concepts mono block, so it's extremely secure. And it's ambi. So builder and all the other wrong-handed people will be able to use one.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Which
and
we'll find out before too long.
Yes.
I'm hopping on really quick. Are they on the website yet?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, the
Here we go.
website has them up.
Okay.
They'll be available for sale later.
Mm-hmm.
So really quick, I'm going to toss this up here so we can see it. This is the Singleton. Now, it does come with a monoblock, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it comes with a monoblock, and you can see over here, the MSRP or the sales price on these guys is $48.25. You're talking a sub $50 high quality holster. This is not the shambly folded crap holsters that you get from like Etsy or like that kind of thing. This is an actual vacuum formed, properly made holster.
And
I had seen that holster just from work having it for a while, and this is the first time I heard the price point. That's stupid, man.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna sell those like hotcakes.
Yeah, and Work the Trigger gets you 10% off.
Ooh.
So if you guys are interested, hop over to Harry's Holsters. He's also got another line coming out. You can get that down really quick and pop back over to the Contender line. Now, this one I've run this in exactly one match. And it's there's some stuff with the Contender competition holsters. There's not a whole lot you can do that's like super innovative. You know, they're pretty confined by what the rules are, you know, where you can put cuts. But the thing about the Contender is, first of all, it looks badass.
Mm-hmm.
I did have two people ask me what holster I was using at the match this weekend or this last match. And nobody ever asked me that when I was running a Blade Tech. People don't give a crap about that, but they'll ask with this one. And then just the location of the retention holes on that thing, just, I don't know. For me, it ended up being really easy to swap, to fine tune that retention on there.
Well, and when you throw a turbo prop on there, which
Mhm.
you can see as an option, it
Mhm.
really you can dial these holsters from within a half turn. You'll literally go from it's going to fall out of the gun or draw so easy to it is locked down and it's not going anywhere. So you can decide exactly where you want that
Mhm.
adjusted and figure it out for yourself, figure out what works for you and your gun. But there's a lot of time and thought put into these. I will say, like, I like the OWB stuff. I'm very happy with this and how it turned out. But the Singleton is just at heart, I'm an IWB guy, and that holster is really a standout.
Mm-hmm.
Like the features, if people can look, you can see underneath the claw there, and maybe click on the CZ like that. You can see the rounding of the edges on that, how it sits against the thigh. So when you're carrying appendix and all the front, the edges, so if you're carrying 3 to 4 o'clock, there's not anything to poke you. It's
there's so the guys here know that I use this phrase, but there's a phrase that I use for holsters that are standard folded holsters, and it's dick guillotine. So there's a feature on so many inside the waistband holsters that is right on this edge right here, and it's a sharp, just 2 layers of Kydex edge. And when you sit down, that thing either cuts off your junk, or it just, you know, slices in your femoral artery and you bleed. You don't really bleed out, but it's not comfortable. He has actually taken the time to go through, and as it seems weird, it seems counterintuitive, but it's not once you wear it. I promise it'll make sense.
you have to add material in the right places, and essentially all it is with a holster is making sure the places that touch your body are not hard edges. Anytime you have a hard edge, it's going to be uncomfortable. So by doing that little bit of piping around there, it gets rid of the hard edges and makes a huge difference.
So that's the new stuff coming out from Harry's Holsters. That's coming out tomorrow. Hop on his website, and yeah, use Work the Trigger for 10% off. All right, hey, let's get one question done before we end tonight. because I can see that we're already builders gone practically. So we'll do one question, then we'll cut it for the evening. All right. So this question came from Red's Dots. He says, how much has your perspective of a good pistol shooter changed since getting into shooting sports, or at least just getting, serious about shooting? He says his went from thinking that a guy who could slowly group 2 inches with a pistol at 25 yards was the epitome of a good shooter, to realizing there was a huge range of skills and that the precision was only a small part of it. So what do you guys, how did your mentality and how you saw a good shooter change in your mind throughout your journey of becoming a decent shot? Builder, we'll go with you first since you're quickly fading.
So, like if I was to find out if somebody's a good shooter, it starts for me right off the bat when they either pick up the gun, take the gun out of the box or whatever. If at any point I'm shooting with this person and the gun gets pointed at me, it instantly, I'm done. Like I don't care what grade of shooter you are now trash to me. You are not a quality shooter if you are waving the gun at me. And it's been happening a lot lately, and I haven't been a big fan of it. It didn't happen last weekend, which was nice because I would have kicked both of your butts together.
I think I accidentally pointed the can cannon at you at one point.
Yeah, well.
On accident, or did you have like oranges in it or something? You're gonna
no, like it was empty.
We did not get around to actually practicing throwing Nerf footballs at each other with the can cannon. Not yet.
But then it comes to like how to, dumb. How do you load your gun? How do you grip your gun? How do you handle your gun? Are you pretty stable? And how do they run the gun? And it's just, as these are not very specific, but they're specific when you see it. Like, can this person run a gun? Yes, it's obvious they can shoot at a consistent rate and maintain a certain amount of accuracy, and that's how I decide, I guess. Or you give them a gun that they never shot before and see how they group with it.
That's not a bad method. Harry, how has your mental image of a good shooter changed?
My experience before that was just shooting with people I knew and then going to attend some classes. And at the classes, every now and then you run to a real high-level shooter, but for the most part, you don't see that. I'm that guy. I can honestly say I'm probably in the top 2% of handgun people that shoot handguns, and I'm throwing everybody that shoots handguns into that. That said, I can go to a USPSA match, and I'm probably just your average USPSA match. I'm probably going to be halfway up the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that shows you there's a lot more high-level shooters out there than you would think. They're just clustered into very small groups.
Very tightly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Manny, how about you?
It doesn't have to necessarily be like you're thinking of like Max Michel or someone like that. As long as someone is competent enough to know something, because you could find one of the best shooters sitting at your local gun range who just sits to himself and shoots by himself in one bay, and he could be phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can't just, yes, all the awards and stuff is nice, but it doesn't really equate to that makes them a good shooter. They're a good shooter because they put the work into it and they practice and they hone their craft, and they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, so for me, I see the world of as like a way bigger swath of things now, because there's a lot of different avenues that you can go down and really focus on to be a quote unquote good shooter. There are the guys who can pull sub 1 inch groups out of a 22 single-handed standing sideways, for competition. Because that's where they spend their time. You've got the USPSA guys that are freaking fantastic, but you toss them into an application where like they're doing defensive training and there's things that they don't do right. Likewise, guys who excel in the defensive world and then go over and shoot a USPSA match and they just don't do as well as they think they would do. So, for me, it's become more of like a mentality of what is well-rounded, and seeing people, precision only works if you can be precise in like a realistic amount of time, because my mindset is always going to be more now towards that like defensive side. So like a good shooter for me is somebody who can combine all of those together and be at least proficient in all of the things, not necessarily like the best, but proficient in them, So that's my answer.
And I find it interesting though, like some high level trainers will bash on the gamer guys because they're playing a game. But if they say, "Oh, if those gamers were in a force on force, they'd suck," like they're two different worlds. I mean, we can't compare apples to potatoes.
Yes and no. I mean, Work and I took that class last year, and we just absolutely kicked ass. And that was the first class we'd ever taken.
But you were competent shooters before you started competing, though.
That's what I'm saying. All we had done before that was USPSA. And we went into this level 3+ mat, or level 3+ course, and we freaking kicked ass when it came to everything involving the gun. I mean, movement and stuff like that I struggled with that. I know that, but
so I had a misstep with my movement, and this is where the well-roundedness comes into. With competition, the goal is just to get from one place to another. Doesn't matter how. You're not as worried about the possibility of something being there. What's there, generally speaking. So in the defensive world, there's two different general movements, sideways movements that they use. They use this like the slide step, where you grab a foot and then slide the other one, and you kind of walk it that way, or you actually turn your feet and walk sideways. So I tend to grapevine a lot when I'm moving side to side, because in USPSA I can move quickly and I can move steadily. I can keep a very solid, steady sight picture as I grapevine. I don't find that possible using the other movements. I either am slow or my sight picture bobs. But that's one of those things where, like, to be well-rounded, that you got to kind of be able to do both of those.
The real problem is you get people from both sides who say my way is the way and the only way.
Yep.
And talking about different techniques to shoot a pistol. I think somebody that plans to shoot 200 rounds a year and never dry fire should use a different technique than a guy who's going to shoot 30,000 rounds a year and his goal is to become a USPSA master.
For sure.
Those are two completely different things. You're going to develop different muscles in your hands differently, so you're going to have more strength in certain areas. You can apply things differently. You can understand at a different level. Things don't need to be as simple at that rate. You get a lot of people that want to think, well, I'm prepared for defensive shooting because I'm a master class or grandmaster in USPSA. And the reality is that might not be true. And then you got a lot of people who think, well, I'm this fucking badass tactical shooter. Sorry for the F-bomb there. I'm this badass tactical shooter, so I can go to one of these matches and school everybody, and they go there and they can't. So you get, again,
they get DQ'd is the problem.
They go temple index or something, or
that's what I did.
Oh, did you do that?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to poke fun at you. I knew somebody else who did that.
That's okay. I don't care. Takes a lot to hurt my feelings.
At the end of the day, it's people's egos getting in the way and not really application. There's a reason CAG and all these high-end units pay somebody like Rob Latham and Jerry Mikulik, and before that, Jerry Barnhart, huge money to come in and teach them. But they're teaching them how to run a pistol. They're not teaching them how to pry a door.
Right. It's all about the techniques and the competency of using the pistol and not the tactics. Tactics are a whole different game when it comes to real-life scenarios than a game.
And you can learn something from every one of them. And I will say this, I've not shot them in USPSA matches, but I had reached a plateau in my shooting, and I was having a hard time getting over it. When I just one USPSA match completely was able to reframe my mind in a positive way to get over that plateau. I was shocked.
Builder has witnessed what it did to me. Like Builder, when I first started,
not fun anymore.
when I went to the first match with him, I was a significantly subpar shooter. Like I I wasn't able to pull tight groups. I wasn't able to pull quick splits. It was like going back and watching it. It was kind of sad. But along that
honestly, even back then, I wasn't that great. Not that I'm fantastic by any means, but I wasn't as good as I am now. I know that.
Yeah,
let alone last year when I was really good.
It's you mean the year that we got to go to like 2 together?
Yes.
And this year we've gone to 1 together.
Hey, you'll make 2 again this year.
We will.
Well, maybe.
But good.
Last match I shot, like there's a whole different skill set involved in everything that's not just shooting in USPSA. I'm like, you look at all these instructors have their different patches and challenge coins and all that certain thing. I could train up for one of those. Even I'm not as high as level of a shooter as I was at one point. Not as well practiced. Give me 6 weeks and enough ammo, and that's not really a ton of ammo. It's just give me six weeks and 3,000 rounds, and I can probably pass one standard for a given instructor.
Yeah, you could do the black belt patch. If you put enough effort and repetitions on that black belt patch, you could.
And that's one of the more difficult ones to do. The fast drill, there's a couple others I'm forgetting, but you could get really good at it. You go into a USPSA match, and your shooting might be on point. But if you do not understand stage planning, well, you're completely done. The last match I shot,
you lost 10 seconds.
It was more than 10 seconds.
No, I mean, easily on each stage you can lose 10 seconds.
So, this last one that we went through, Humble Marksman sent me a message shortly after I posted the video, and he goes, "Why the hell did you do that on this stage?" And I'm like, "Well, I thought it was the quickest way, so we worked it out, and I was about 2 seconds shy or 2 seconds over what I probably would have been, and that would have bumped me up at least 2 places on that thing."
Which stage was that?
That was the what was it? Something to retreat first. The one where you could go forward or backwards. You started off on the edge, and then you either went forwards or backwards. It was that one.
Okay.
The last match I shot, though, there were 2 stages that were pretty much you just run through a straight course, and you had to really screw up with a target or forget a target. And on both of those, I was similar scoring as far as hits, and I was maybe a half second behind a grandmaster shooter. Like, it was just stupid simple. You don't have to think. All you have to do is shoot.
A hose stage.
Yeah. And then there were 2 other stages that were mental gymnastics with where the target locations were. And I had more double shoots and a couple no shoots or, targets I didn't even engage. And that cost me like 15 seconds, I think, on that one stage. And then all the other stages, I mean, it put me back like 10, 15 places.
Yeah, it'll do that.
Yeah.
When you hit middle of the pack, it's so tight that one flub will throw you 4 or 5 spots.
Yeah, it's just, the game planning though and stage planning is just a whole different skill in how you approach it. It's completely independent from shooting at that point.
Right, and even at the top level, it's how fast you can do the non-shooting things to get back to shooting. It's not even that they have to go 0.12, 0.15 splits. They could go 25 splits all day long, like Scott Jedlinski. As long as they do everything else really fast, you can have mediocre splits. Just like he does the fast drill, he can math it and get a fast coin every time.
You can
almost every time.
Yeah, like Scott told me, he goes, if you have a 1.2 second draw and 0.25 splits, there is nothing you can accomplish up to like masterclass level. Like, as long as you do everything else right, you're good.
Yep.
As long as you do everything else right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you just can't miss a reload, chuck your mag across the bay. I mean,
that's why I'm in C class.
Right.
Did you finally classify in limited?
No, I have a classification in production, carry optics, and limited. One in each.
Oh Lord. Really?
Yeah.
I've decided I'm gonna hit masterclass, but like I want to get that for my whatever, but I'm not gonna do it till I can just dedicate the time to where I'm doing like 2 matches every weekend or as many as I can do, so I can classify as quickly as possible.
I'll try what What are you gonna obtain that in? Which like carry optics or limited production?
If I got really bored, then I might do limited. Open's too expensive for my blood.
Yeah, I hear that.
I don't have that workman money like everybody, like you got.
Are you kidding? I get free stuff. What are you talking about? I don't pay
If
for
I
it.
decide to stick with this USPSA again, I'm probably going to shoot to be a B class and limited, which will be hard because I'm shooting minor.
Yeah, but your limited gun kind of is awesome.
It is kind of awesome. I got to shoot that. That was
So
nice.
shitty.
But I noticed at the last match, there's still a minor guy who did place like halfway up. You did, Builder. So I mean, shooting minor isn't the end of the world at your club.
No, you just have to aim better.
Yeah, you can't just hose everything. You've got to actually aim because you're not shooting 40 cal.
And honestly, my splits are fast enough that I can put 3 rounds on the target, on every target, and I'm fine.
You just got to learn how to get low and run. Twinkle toes.
I just have one thing to say. 5 alphas.
I did take one makeup shot. I did an Alpha Charlie. And I was like, oh, it's right in front of me. So I leaned back, shot again, and it was a Delta. And I'm like, damn it. Kept
In the
going.
middle of the match, that was worse.
You know what would be really cool to do? To become master class or grandmaster in revolver.
Don't ever let Humble hear you say that.
Oh, trust me, if my company
I
just
completely
takes off,
agree, though.
I am going to I'm gonna like offer to sponsor Humble, but the thing is he's gonna have to shoot revolver class. Like that's gonna be the thing.
The downside is he'll shoot revolver and then he'll be like, oh, all you poors running semi-autos with optics. What's wrong with you people?
What are you talking about? The freaking moon clip, so he doesn't have to. He only has to pick up little wads. He doesn't have to pick up brass. He's just like,
No.
You guys don't even know the beauty of a finely tuned Smith & Wesson revolver.
No, he's shooting a Taurus, man.
No, he's gonna have to shoot it with Schofields.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Make it harder, Webley.
No, can you
18-pound double action.
No, but I can just see Humble's progression. He'll start with like Ruger or Smith. Be like, okay, this is why would anybody spend money on a Core? And then within 2 years, we'll see him owning like 3 Cores.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He'll get Nighthawk custom to build him ones. Just tune in and be like, yep. Look at all that YouTube money.
We got a local guy here that runs an optic and a comp on a revolver, and he shoots it in open class.
Why doesn't he shoot I-Core?
He does.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. I want to try out I-Core, though.
Me too. I just don't have I don't think they'd allow my Heritage Rough Rider.
Nonsense. Let's try it.
Hold on, I'm reloading.
There's got to be a class for single action onlys.
There is a rimfire class in I-Core, but they don't use it at our local club because they knock over steel.
Speaking of rimfire and all that sort of stuff, I've always wanted, for some reason, I don't think I'll ever do it, but still challenge. Looks like it could be a lot of fun.
We
We have
are
a one here called Rimfire Falling Steel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do that.
Yeah, our local range guy has been trying to talk us into running one of those 22 steel matches.
Is that indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
I think it'd be a lot of fun too if you had like kids or people that just aren't as experienced at shooting.
Yep,
would be a great way to get them into it.
But still
Man,
challenge.
Rimfire Fallen Steel is the Sunday after USPSA.
Ooh. Dang it, I gave all my 22 to Levi. Hopefully that worked for him.
And you don't have a 22.
Right, I don't. But that was a whole box of 22 pretty much.
it was.
That's been sitting in my basement for like ever. So hopefully that actually like detonates and he can shoot it.
If it doesn't, he'll just throw it away. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Let's blow it up.
He'll throw it in a fire.
That's true. He probably would do that.
All right,
with,
gentlemen. I am tired.
It's time to cut it out anyway.
You guys check me out past my bedtime.
You gonna go ahead and cut out Builder while we're doing our outro?
No, I'm a big boy.
Okay. Oh, look at you. All right. So with that, thank you everybody in the chat for coming and hanging out. I know we lost some of you in there, but others are still here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for a work after hours live chat. We are now doing these every other week. We have cut it back down because we're just tired. So with that being said, Builder, they can't find you anywhere, right?
Exactly.
All right. Harry, where can they find you, man?
Harry'sHolsters.com, Harry's Holsters on YouTube and Instagram.
And especially visit that tomorrow. Right?
And even more options coming over the next couple of weeks and months.
Are the options on your website right now? I wasn't paying attention.
Not all of them will be in stock tomorrow, but most will. So,
okay.
And they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a new holster, definitely give them a look.
And they ship incredibly quick. So,
all right, Manny, where can they find you?
They can find me right here on YouTube and Instagram as Manny Things. I post 2 videos a week. I got one on Tuesdays, one on Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you check out a video, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did.
All right. And with that being said, thank you everybody one last time for coming to the Work After Hours live chat. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.